Recently, I was just asked to make the call schedule for our group. Seems like a pretty simple thing. There's 6 of us in my private practice group, and there's 365 days a year. So split it up, 6 divided by 365, put a different doctor on every single night. Done and done, right? Oh, if it were only that easy. As anybody that knows that's ever made a call schedule, there's always a million different things to consider. Well, Dr. Jones can't work Tuesdays because his daughter has basketball practice, and Dr. Smith can't do this Saturday because he's going to be out of town. Well, don't forget that Dr. Jones had 3 weekends in a row last month, and he wasn't happy about that. He wants to make sure that all the weekends are fair, and Dr. Smith took Christmas last year, and he doesn't want to take Christmas again this year, so we need to account for all these things. It's like this big, massive logic puzzle that can create a lot of resentment in the group if it's not done fairly and correctly. So what ends up happening is we try to throw some names down on a spreadsheet in a calendar, and then inevitably back and forth, there's a million different text messages and emails saying, hey, can you switch this date for this date? And it becomes this kind of nightmare situation. We can continue to do it the old-fashioned way, or maybe we can go try to find some sort of product online that can do it for us, but it's never really specific to our group. But what if you could just build the exact app you need yourself over a weekend without knowing how to write a single line of code? Recently, a full-time cardiologist did just that. He beat out thousands of software engineers to take 3rd place at a massive AI hackathon. Today, I'm going to show you how he did it and how I just built my own call scheduling app using a concept called vibe coding, and why physicians are uniquely positioned to build the next generation of healthcare tools. So let's go. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is SpeakMD. I'm Dr. AJ Balaram. I'm a full-time practicing physician and orthopedic surgeon, and we explore the intersection between healthcare and technology and how practicing physicians can use this in their day-to-day practices. On this channel, we don't care about the hype. We look at actual tools that can change the way physicians work and the way technology can be used by physicians to make their lives easier to ensure that they can provide better care for their patients. Usually on this channel, we're reviewing tools built by engineers that don't necessarily understand our workflow, don't necessarily understand what it is to see 100 patients a week. Today, we're talking about how AI is actually allowing us to build those tools ourselves. There's this concept that has become really common vernacular called vibe coding. So if you're unfamiliar with what vibe coding is, it's basically a way to develop software programs using English as your coding language. So the way this came on my radar is I read a very interesting article about Dr. Michael Netesitsko. He's a cardiologist, and he decided he was going to enter a hackathon for an AI company called Anthropic. Those of you that know that Anthropic is one of the major players in artificial intelligence. So he entered this hackathon with 13,000 other developers, and this cardiologist won 3rd place in this massive hackathon. He built an app, it's called postvisit.ai, where he just looked at the pain points associated with when a patient gets discharged from your office. What are the things that they're missing? Well, he noticed that sometimes they missed a lot of the language or the diagnoses that you talked about. They missed a lot of the instructions that you wanted them to know, as well as they didn't have something to take with them as far as how their labs looked and things like that. And he said, well, what if I could just develop a software program that is easy to understand, that they can take with them and even bring with them to their next appointments? The amazing thing is, this busy cardiologist seeing patients vibe coded this app in just 7 days. He had a transatlantic flight, he was doing it in between shifts and in between seeing patients, and in 7 days he developed this app that won 3rd place amongst a group of 13,000 professional software developers. So then of course the question is, why did he win? How did he win? Well, the answer lies in the fact that some of the barriers that kept people from developing software in the past are slowly starting to break down. Now, before software engineers start throwing things at the screen, this doesn't mean that everyone can write perfect code. But what it does mean is, if you have domain expertise, such as if you see patients every day, you know the pain points better than anyone else. In the era of artificial intelligence, raw coding skills matter less than domain expertise. A software engineer doesn't know what a useful post-visit summary actually looks like. A cardiologist does. We understand the clinical pain points. AI bridges the technical gap. We're entering an era where the barrier to solving our own clinical frustrations is dropping to zero. If you want to stay ahead of this curve and learn how to leverage tech to take back your time and practice better medicine, hit the subscribe button. We're building a community of doctors who want to stay on the front foot when it comes to artificial intelligence in healthcare. So I saw what this cardiologist did, and of course I wanted to test this myself. I have zero software engineering background, so I opened up Claude Code to solve one of the most tedious administrative tasks in a practice, the call schedule. Okay guys, it's Sunday morning. My wife took the kids to a birthday party, so I have a little bit of time to see if I can develop a software app for physicians to make a call schedule. Now, I have no coding experience whatsoever. I have no technical background in software engineering or writing code. I've never written a line of code in my life. But what we're going to try to do is use Anthropic's model called Claude Code to vibe code a call scheduling app for physicians. So let's dive in and see if we can do it. Okay, first things first, we are on the Anthropic website, claude.ai, and I'm going to download Claude to my Mac computer. I would rather have it on my Mac so the software can sit there, and so here you can see that I'm going to download it to my Mac. Okay, so now you can see that I have downloaded the Anthropic Claude app to my Mac. And up at the top, you can see that you have three different options. You have the chat, cowork, and the code section. And you can choose the model down here in the bottom right. I'm just going to put in my prompt. If you would like to see my prompt, I've copied it down below. But basically what my prompt is saying is, I'm trying to make a call scheduling app for physicians that's fair and equitable. There are certain days that physicians need exclusions for because they can't work on those specific days. Make a call scheduling app that allows for me to set these exclusions, as well as give me the stats to make sure that all the call is equitable and physicians don't get too many holidays in a row. Okay, so now I've put my prompt in, and the first thing Claude Code does is it thinks about my prompt and says, okay, but I still have some questions for you. So it asks these multiple choice questions, and they're very relevant, and I clarify what I want, and then it starts working on it. Okay, so that was essentially it. Let's see, it says, great choices, let me build this out for you. A full interactive web app with scheduling algorithm, calendar view, export, and fairness tracking. And in literally about 4 minutes, it has built the call scheduler app that you can see over here on the right. So now I start to get a little bit bold. I start to say, okay, but I have this website. I'd like to put this app on my website. And so I ask Claude Code, how can I do that? And it gives me a bunch of different options. And some of the options are easier. Some of them are a little bit more technical. Continue to ask it questions, continue to prompt. And that's what I want to convey to any of the physicians that are watching this. I don't want you to be intimidated by this because, again, I don't have a whole lot of technical expertise, but as long as you continue to ask questions and continue prompting the chatbot, it will walk you through a lot of these processes. Finally, I got to a point where I could put this up on my website, and now let's delve in and see how it works. Now we're browsing as a guest in the web browser. We're going to my website where I've put this app in. So here we are at the Call Schedule Maker. Pretty simple app. There's nothing crazy about it, no bells and whistles, but you can see you can basically put in what you're trying to make. I'm going to make a 1-month call schedule. There's 3 doctors in the group, Dr. Smith, Dr. Jones, and Dr. Cherry. Next, it's going to ask me to set exclusions. So now I know that Dr. Smith can't work the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Okay, so I click that in. I know Dr. Cherry can't work the 5th and the 25th, so I put that in. And then for Dr. Jones, I'm going to put that he can't work the 12th, 13th, and 14th, and also put in again that Dr. Cherry can't work the 14th. So now you can see there's a problem. Nobody can work the 14th. That's always an issue, right? So the app needs to let us know, hey, there's a conflict here. None of the doctors can work on that date. So that needs to be determined in person. So let me go back and take somebody off the 14th so it can actually make the schedule. Let's say Dr. Smith decided he could work the 14th. Okay, great. So now it's made this full call schedule, and you can see it's for the month. These poor doctors are on Q3. That's a rough one. But now we can look at the stats. You can see that they're on nearly an equal amount of weekdays, the equal amount of weekend days. There's no holidays in March, so that doesn't necessarily matter. But it gives you all the stats breakdown in a fairness dashboard. It's amazing. I didn't necessarily ask for a fairness dashboard, but that's what it made for me. And you can see that you can export it as a calendar file. I'm going to export it as a PDF so I can print it so that I can send it to whatever doctors need it, or to our secretary to send to the hospitals. All that information is basically generated through this app, which took me 30 to 45 minutes to work on and develop. And it's a really fascinating way to address a pain point for physicians. Now, this isn't a patient care activity. This isn't, HIPAA compliant, but it is a pain point for doctors. And what I want to imply with this demonstration is that it is not that difficult to generate a piece of software using vibe coding, because you have the domain expertise of the actual pain point that you want to solve. And because these chatbots with artificial intelligence have become so accessible, you can now just speak your problem into these chatbots and ask it to generate a piece of software that can help you, and then it can be made literally in a morning. My kids aren't even back from their birthday party yet, and I've already developed a call scheduling app. You can absolutely use this app for your practice if you would like. If you're needing to make a call schedule for however many physicians you have and you want to make sure that it's equitable, and instead of going through it the old-fashioned way with a calendar and writing people's names down, try to use this app. It's free, the link is down below, and if you have iterations and things that you would want to see changed in this app, just send me a message and I'll change it, and I'll put those features in as well too. It's going to be kind of an ongoing thing because I want to see what physicians can make. And if you do make something, tag me on it because I want to see what you're making as well too. The point isn't that you need to start a software company. The point is that you can now build these little micro tools to solve highly specific, annoying frictions in your day-to-day practice. But the amazing thing that I found out is, even when I ran into roadblocks where things got a little bit intimidating, if you just keep asking questions associated with these chatbots, it will walk you through it step by step in a very easy way. In one instance, it actually said, okay, this is going to be a little bit intimidating, but here's how you get through it. And it was exactly right. It was a point where I was bringing up the terminal, and I've never done that in my life. And it knew that that was going to be a little bit of an intimidating point, and it talked me through all those steps. It took me about 45 minutes to develop this highly functioning app that I can share with all of the doctors out there that need to make call schedules. I think that's a pretty cool thing, and it really highlights the fact that physicians who know the pain points in medicine can be the ones that develop the new technologies in healthcare. Now, as you guys know on this channel, we don't just hype for the sake of hype. And of course, I did make this app, but it's a pretty simple app used for a call schedule. There's nothing really inherent about it that is associated with patient safety or privacy. So we do have to be careful in the fact that if you're going to develop an app and it has some patient information in there, it needs to be HIPAA secure. Again, there's ways around that, and the more you continue to ask questions, you can find a way to build something like that, but we do have to be a bit careful there. In addition, because of the heaviness of the decisions that we make, we don't necessarily just want to vibe code something that could have an issue with patient safety. What I'm more thinking is, as these tools get better and as physicians continue to become more proficient with them, they're going to be able to work through these pain points and make better tools for ourselves and for our patients. Physicians have suffered from death from 1,000 clicks because we've been forced to use software designed by billing administrators and coders. Vibe coding allows us to design our own digital environment. If you enjoyed this video, you may want to see exactly how AI is changing the way we document and interact with the EHR. Click on the video up here about how ambient AI scribes can change the medical practice. If you would like to know about Open Evidence, which is an AI app that's being used as a clinical assistant, you can check out the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I know your time is valuable. Have a great day.